Hey everybody, welcome back to the Punkin Show. It's your girl Punkin, and I'm back again. Another week, another dope interview, and we do have a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Beeta the Barber.
Beeta the Barber. Straight to it.
Straight to it.
To start it off, tell the people where you from.
I'm originally from California, the Bay Area. I've been in Arlington for most of my life, so I claim the ag.
Ag-Town. I think it's the first time I don't interviewed anybody from Arlington.
What? Come on, you gotta tap in.
What part of Arlington you from?
I'm from the east.
East side.
East side.
So what's that over? Like, that's not the 20 side, right? That's not like...
We like in between like 20 and 360.
20 and 360.
So everything like kind of in between that.
Okay, that's a bit. So recently did... I mean, from what I seen, King Von, before he passed, R.I.P. King Von.
Rest in peace, King Von.
For sure. So when did you first, pick up some clippers? Like, how did this, barber dream start?
Well, I got a long story with the barber dream. The first time I picked up some clippers, I was probably like 13. My mama did hair, so I always grew up around the business.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? But I probably was cutting for probably about like 3 years in high school. Then I let it go, got into the streets. So I let it go around 18. I started around like 13, 14, let it go around 18, got in the streets. And I just recently picked it up probably around like 4 years ago. And I turned around 30.
So like you self-taught?
Yeah. For
the most part?
For the most part. Between YouTube and my mom. That's how I learned how to cook. Yeah.
That's what's up. So we started at 13, and now, 13. I mean, you're doing it so big. You got a lot of people. You got a big buzz. I feel like now a lot of people, go to you to get a haircut. What was your strategy? Like, did you know, like, once you, like, really came out with it, you was going to be the best? Like, how did you boost to where you are now?
To tell you the truth, I knew I was going to do this barber shit when I was, like, in the third grade. To be honest. Like, I knew my mom always told me, we always had the rap dream or the hoop dream. I had the hoop dream. But my mom always told me, I had a backup plan. Mm-hmm. And since I was always around the business, I used to always see barbers with just big stacks of money. Mm-hmm. I always had big stacks of money. They was fly. I was like, shit, that's some shit I can get into. Can we cuss?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So shit, I was like, that's some shit I can get into. And I always just knew, like, that was like the flyest shit to me, just being a barber. I always seen them niggas with just big stacks of money. It was the closest thing to being a drug dealer.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So once I got out the streets, I always knew, even when I was in the streets, I always knew it was gonna be a turning point. I always used it as a hustle, not a grind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I always tried to use the streets as a secondary, something to fall back on if necessary. The streets was plan B.
You always knew you're going to do this.
Bottom line,
stuff.
The streets is plan B. Go to barber school to be a barber,
some people start, But at 13, you couldn't go. So
no,
at 13,
no. I started out just in the garage. My mom got me, once I told her, like, man, Mom, she said, we always had family meetings, so I was always raised off of structure.
Wow.
So, shit, I told her, I was like, look, I want to try the barber stuff. And she was the one that always pushed me, like, whatever you want to do, we going to do it. I don't care what it is. Let's do it.
Wow.
I always had your plan, and let's do it.
Shout out to mama.
Nah,
these
for
mamas
real.
be coming through. Shout out to the mamas.
Straight up.
You think like your work speaks for yourself? Like you ain't have to do too much marketing or push too many things out there?
No. It's a mixture of everything. I'm like the gumbo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, for real, it takes a little bit of everything. You got to come with your marketing scheme. You got to be, first and foremost, you got to be good.
Yeah.
You got to have some type of skill. After that, then you got to develop how you're going to reach the people. And I came up with my marketing, and it worked.
It worked. So that's dope. I think a lot of people underestimate barbers. Like,
sure.
They think like it probably ain't something that got a lot of money or something.
If you do, you better tap in with the kid, I'm telling you. Because to only be starting in 4 years, man, not to be too my own horn, but I got to pat myself on the back. Because I really, and once I started cutting hair, I really took a conscious decision and said, what am I going to do? And I wasn't a 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of dude. once I said I'm gonna leave the streets alone, I left the streets alone. Everything that came with it. Everything that came with the streets, I left it alone. I left it in the streets and said, I'm going to try it this other way and see if that worked. Because the streets was just coming with too much stress.
Yeah, for sure.
I was successful in the streets as well. I always had my way.
And it's kind of hard to get out once you kind of stuck in. Then like your circle, everybody like, oh, nigga, you going to go cut her?
Yeah. So I dealt with that a lot. A whole lot. Like, you just the barber. Mm-hmm. You just, now, it's like, shit, can we go do that barber shit with you?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the ultimate goal, like for people to underestimate what your plans is and what the goal is.
That's all I need is an enemy in my head. That's all I need, and it's on go.
I feel like you need them people to build. You need that little, little doubt to get to where you're going to be.
Straight up.
I mean, like, how do people book you?
I'm a free agent. Right now, I'm a free agent. I'm not in the shop right now, so you can just tap in through my Instagram, and I get with you. However, we got to work it out. If I got to pull up on you, and that's how I always work, though. So I always been I'm going to go get mine because I came from the streets.
Right.
So it's a lot of shit that I learned from the streets that I transfer. If you can make it in the streets, you can make it anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. And when you refer to the streets, are we talking about the streets of Arlington?
Yeah, for sure. But I dipped and dabbed everywhere. Okay. I dipped and dabbed everywhere. You gotta be, and that's what I learned. I ran a successful business in the streets, so I couldn't. That's where a lot of my marketing came from.
Right, you just took what you learned in the streets and applied it the legit way.
And it's easy. It's easy.
I bet.
It's easy. It's a layup drill.
Combo. I mean, like, who wouldn't want to be in a barbershop? I feel like it's a dude that's like the perfect spot to get like all your gossip, like catch up on the week and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So you brought out this podcast that I watch, and I think that
Bad Guys Good News.
Yeah, Bad Guys Good News. So you had like a lot of dope people. Like my favorite, Fat Pimp. Shout out to Fat Pimp. You had like someone from Young Nation. I know Terry was there.
Yeah, Terry Houses.
Yeah, so like I feel like that was a very dope setup. So like, are you gonna move forward with that, or like? Shout out
to my boy Terry and my boy Rick.
Yeah, shout out to Terry.
All three of us came together and came up with an idea, and we ran with it.
I honestly thought it was genius. Like when I first seen it, because of which I was able to capture. So like y'all in a barbershop set. I feel like that period is gonna bring people like viewers. Like you had a really dope setup. You cutting hair, so it's like you working and talking. And I feel like that's something you could have got the girls' attention too. Like not to be honest, it's something like I tuned into it. So I feel like that's something we always want to know is like barbershop talk. Like what y'all niggas be talking about in the barbershop.
Yeah,
like,
straight up. Like that's the vibe we want to create.
Yeah, and I feel like y'all really did it. So I really hope that y'all like really push that. Y'all haven't tuned in, they can find that on YouTube, correct?
On YouTube, yeah. So we still shooting, and we about to get back to shooting during this corona. We just slowed down and everything. The vibe wasn't the same in the shop, so we just fell back from it a little bit, but we still have episodes that we haven't even dropped yet.
Well, I'll definitely tune in when y'all do drop those. So being in Arlington, do you feel like, now that you're out here in the crowd and you're doing stuff, do you feel like you get enough respect? Do you think people respect you as they should as a barber? Like you feel like you get the support and the respect out here?
For sure. I get mad love.
That's what's up. For
sure. That's all I focus on. I don't get too high or too low, but I don't worry about negative. Like that ain't nothing that, you know what I'm saying, that I fuel off of, you feel me? So I get plenty of love. I got my family, I got friends, and that's how I was my whole life. I always been a loner type of dude anyway. Mm-hmm. So I always knew.
So really that's all you need.
It's myself.
Everybody
I believe in myself. What? Plus one, plus two, you know what I'm saying? Anything else is just a plus, you know what I mean? But I get plenty of love.
And you a traveling barber. You bringing everything when you travel?
Stop playing.
Boy, y'all better get with it.
Book Beeta anywhere you at. All I need is a day in advance and I'm popping up.
That's
on my mama.
Up. A real hustler out here.
What? I done did it all. I'm telling you, I done been backstage rolling loud, all off the clippers too. And that's what I'm saying. When you pick up the legit side, it'll take you to places that the hustle just don't. The avenues ain't there for you.
Yeah,
you know
and it's
saying?
Like really no growth. It's like in two ways in and out. It's like
that's why I said. That's why I'll never knock it. I love, you know what I'm saying. I love it, but you just got to use it as a secondary.
Yeah, it taught you a lot of things that you were able to apply in your real life. So you said you was at Rolling Loud. You was able to
did backstage Rolling Loud, Jambalaya. Every year I'm at Jambalaya cutting backstage. I did Rolling Loud, L.A. and the Bay Area.
So how are you able to make these connections?
Well, a lot of things come through my guy Splurge. So I got to give major shout out to my guy Splurge. Once I started dealing with Splurge, a lot of doors opened up for me. A lot.
And Splurge is a rapper from Arlington,
He's
correct?
a rapper from Arlington.
Yeah, I've heard of Splurge. So, like, he really, for the most part, just put you on. Like, will introduce you to different people that could put, you know, he mentioned your name in rooms.
Rooms that I couldn't just get into by myself.
That makes a lot of sense. So sure. That's so important. I be trying to tell people it's so important to network with people and, like, get to know different people because you never know what one person opportunity could bring to you.
You never know.